Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. Today we have the Cololight Mix. Now this is a multicolored circular light panel on a squarish platform that's able to display multiple colors and patterns in a single panel. It is also able to be powered wirelessly with a rechargeable battery, has a music detection mode, and is able to connect to multiple panels to synchronize up the colors. Now, a big thank you to Cololight for sending this out to me for this review. I'll leave all the product links in the description below. But let's first get into the unboxing of this product. Now, inside this very simple box, you'll get 3 mixed light panels, each with its own circular light surface and a squarish base. You also get 4 connector plates, some adhesive tapes, and a power supply cable. Now, there are 2 main ways you can attach these panels onto your walls, either by using the included adhesive tapes to apply it to the wall, or to use the magnetic backings on the panels. However, the strength of the magnets isn't exactly very strong and required the other panels to kind of help keep it on the metal surface. The other way that you can display this is by standing it up vertically, but I wouldn't really recommend it because the joints that are holding it together aren't exactly meant to keep it fixed in place. They are more of electrical connected joints, so this isn't exactly a very fixed way to hold it up. The last way that I think is one of the most efficient ways to use these panels is as a mini display light. So if you have some little figurines or action figures or any collectibles, I think this is a great light panel for you to display them on. So let's talk a bit about how this whole thing works. Now basically each of these light panels have a little plus and minus signs, and these are for you to match them together and also use the provided connector plates to connect the lights together. Now the connector plates are a bit strange, they do stick out from the panel a bit, but this isn't such a big deal because you're gonna probably be seeing it from afar. But at the same time, I think this is something that could be improved and to be made flushed with the product so it doesn't stick out as much. Now the other thing is that these connector plates aren't meant as a joint or anything that's a rigid fixture. It's actually just meant as an electrical connector. So if you stand this thing up, it kind of wobbles, moves around. So it isn't really advisable for you to carry the whole thing up just by the joints itself. Now you'll notice that the control plate itself, that's where your power would go to. It has 1 indicator light and 1 control button. This control button allows you to turn the lights on and off as well as to change from different preset patterns. There is a lot more that you can do with the app, but we'll get to that in a bit. But since we're on the topic of manual control, these light panels aren't touch sensitive or cannot be controlled by touch. This is unlike the Nanoleaf lights that can be controlled by touch or gestures. This one doesn't really do that. So that's one thing that's different from the Nanoleafs. Now, as I've mentioned before, there is a compartment for a battery to keep this wirelessly powered. However, the battery isn't included and it takes a bit more effort to source it out and buy it for yourself. So let's talk a bit about the app. Now, like all smart light panels, these apps are filled with different customization options as well as some presets that you can customize yourself and create your own patterns. Now, first up on the menu is the color pattern options. Now, of course, there are a couple of presets already installed in them. However, you can customize your own patterns by selecting the different colors that you want to use, followed by the frequency, speed, and lastly selecting the gradient pattern to which you want to use it with. Now going back to the main menu, there is also a solid color option that has a couple of color presets inside, but just like the color pattern, you can select your own color by clicking the color picker and adjusting the hue, saturation, and brightness values. So like many smart lights out there, this light panel does come with a music detection function. This music detection function allows it to listen and detect sounds and beats from your music and create light patterns according to the beat. Now I've tested this out and to my surprise it works really well, and I'm pretty surprised by this. It actually kind of works a bit better than the Nanoleafs in my own opinion, but I haven't really done a side-by-side comparison. But here's a quick test to show you guys how this whole thing works. So now I've got some music playing at the background, and as you can see, the light flickers and changes according to the beat. And there are a couple of other presets that you can use with this, but I won't go into too much details. But overall, this music detection function really surprised me and works really well. So with all these features all laid out for you guys, it's time to talk about the pros and cons. So first of all, let's talk about the pros. I think this panel is different from the ones out there, mainly because of its small form factor. Now, as suggested earlier, you can use this for displaying your collectibles on it or using it in display shelves. This small form factor allows you to put it in smaller places or more compact places where usually a large Nanoleaf wouldn't fit in. And the fact that it can be potentially powered wirelessly makes this even more convenient, so you don't have wires running around or have to worry about plugging it into a nearby outlet. The other thing that's really impressive is that it has multiple LEDs inside that displays all the different colors in a single panel. Now, this isn't something that can be done on other panels that I've used, so this is something very unique. To have these patterns displayed on a single panel is really interesting and is something that's really innovative, and hopefully they can create a larger panel and really compete with Nanoleafs on that scale. Now lastly, moving back to my favorite feature of this light panel is the music detection. Like I said, it works really well, almost flawlessly, and I think it's something really good to have on the side of your table, behind your monitor, so that it reflects that kind of light atmosphere when you're playing music or when you're playing games. Now lastly, let's talk about the cons of this product. Now, first of all, like I said, it's small enough to fit into small spaces and it's compact, but at the same time, that limits the amount of light that's emitted from it. So if you're intending to use it to light up a room or to create a larger amount of light, these light panels aren't enough to do that as compared to lights like Nanoleafs, which are a lot larger. So you're gonna have to buy a couple more of these lights, and the pack that I have, the 3 light panels, isn't exactly enough to light up a room or even to flood a wall. Next, going back to the build of this product, it does look a bit odd having a squarish base with a circular light panel. I would much rather prefer a circular base to fit with the circular panel, or a square base with a square panel, just to fill up the whole thing with a light panel and not have these black borders around it. So to me, this is something that's a bit strange and might turn some people off. So with that said, I think that this is a very niche product that's meant for a very specific way of lighting display, a very miniature style. I don't think it's a great way to light up your whole room or to even flood a wall with lights. If you want to do something like that, you might want to go with larger light panels like the Nanoleafs. In terms of price-wise, I think I'm not too sure of the price, but I'll put it up here for comparison. But of course, you do have to weigh out how many of these smaller lights you have to buy in order to compete with larger panels like the Nanoleafs. But with that said, I hope this has been informative and helpful for you guys. If you guys found this interesting, do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.